Nearly 90 days ago, the new era in the Simulation Football League began, and that part is about to come to a close. Week 14 is about to get underway, and we're starting it here in Charleston, South Carolina, in a divisional matchup between the Charleston Predators and the DC Dragons. Hello everybody, welcome to Robert Smalls Memorial Stadium here in Charleston. I'm Ethan Muslin alongside Alden Bleeker. This is a big matchup for both of these squads, Alden. Both of them 6-5. Both of them currently in the playoff hunt. A loss for either team puts them on the outside, and they would need 2 out of 3 6-5 teams to falter to have a chance to get back into the playoffs. This is probably the biggest game in the regular season for both these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. The sort of the call of autumn is in the air. You know, you can just kind of feel the magic. Two teams that are fighting with their playoff lives on the line, and you know, you've got a rock solid offense against a ferocious secondary, and you know, it's going to be strength versus strength in this matchup, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. Both of them have phenomenal defenses. We were talking about how Charleston has a great secondary, and it's almost impossible to throw downfield against them. But DC has that strong running game. We talked about it before. They are in the top 5 in the SFL in yards and in carries. Look for Kevin Say, look for Chuck Steller to really make an impact here, as DC's going to get the ball to start this matchup. It'll be taken at about the 6-yard line. Running up the middle with a bit of a shake is Ronnie Shanahan, and he'll bring it out to the DC 34-yard line. We'll start us with our opening drive with the DC Dragons. Shabazz Synergy under center. So we're going to take another look at this great run right up the middle. Synergy been doing it okay. 2,300 yards on the season, puts him 19th in the league, but he's 10th in completion percentage, 5th for fewest interceptions, and 4th in total QBR. This is a good quarterback to have under center.
Yeah, very reliable, and 6th least sacks in the league. So when his offensive line gives him time to set up, he can really make some brilliant decisions.
We'll start with 3 wide receivers on first down. Synergy facing a bit of a blitz, throws it up the middle, will be completed to Josh Gill, who will bring it out to the 49-yard line, and a gain of 15. Immediately gets a big gain for a first down.
Well, and it's as we say going into this game, I mean, Shabazz Synergy, 5th in the league with 107, or 4th in the league, I should say, with 107 quarterback rating, and the fewest interceptions thrown with 5. So when you send the blitz and something opens up the middle, he's gonna take that chance, and he's gonna be brave, and he's made very good decisions all season long.
Twins to the right for 1st and 10, just on the outskirts of midfield. Synergy facing a 5-man rush, throws up the middle, complete to Lauren Percoco. Keep an eye on her. She's going to be a big force to be reckoned with. She leads the league in touchdowns as he gets another first down into enemy territory.
Yeah, tied for first with 8, and perhaps more important to possibly bring up, currently 4 short of Mike Daggs' record for most receiving touchdowns by a tight end. That was 12 set back, or that was 11 set back all the way in season 15.
See if that ever pops up tonight. It'll be a check down over to that's Chuck Steller, secondary running back, going outside for a gain of 2. Let's introduce the DC Dragon offense. Quarterback, Shabazz Synergy. Running backs, Kevin Say and Chuck Steller. Fullback is Cooper Allen. Wide receivers, Ronnie Shanahan, Sam Harrison, Mike Churchill, and Josh Gill. Tight ends, Lauren Percoco and James Walters. And tackle, Lucas Walters. Pump fake here for Synergy. Going to throw the deep ball. Oh, went for Percoco and overthrew it. Incomplete.
Yeah, and this, like we said, this Charleston secondary likes to be very aggressive. I mean, leading the league for most passes defensed this season. And again, they really like to make it difficult for you to throw deep downfield.
Be 3rd down and 8 from the 32. Trips to the left, 1 to the right. Looks like that is Josh Gill by himself on the right side. Synergy steps back. Gonna run it himself up the middle, and will get inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Synergy putting it at H. Won't be enough for the first down, but should be close enough to get a field goal.
Yeah, man, and as we said, Kevin Say, one of the, luminaries of this league in terms of running backs, and man, Shabazz Synergy not really known for running as much as throwing, but puts him in a great position here to set up this field goal.
Potty to draw that one in, and it's up and through. That'll make it a 6-play, 36-yard drive to put the first points on the board for the Dragons. They will lead it 3-0 with 8:07 to go in the first quarter. Beautiful little draw there to get it right through the uprights.
Yeah, but one of the one of the kickers rather in this league who is still at 100% on the season, 18 for 18 now, is Potty.
And that actually ties in with Charleston kicker Brad Brechet, who's also 18 for 18. So we're going to have a little bit of a kicker's duel here. We might be seeing one of those. Kick deep here into the end zone, and that will be knelt down by Honus Adobe to bring it out to the Charleston 20. This will bring out a pretty good quarterback here with John Lakeman, second in completions, attempts, and yards. Only about 61% completion rate, but he's been doing very well for his sophomore season.
Yeah, and the big thing to look at is that he just gets handed that number over and over again. So look for him to throw over and over again tonight.
They will have Lakeman roll left, throws out to the right side, throws it into coverage to Davius Reed, who will get out for the first down around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and into coverage, as you say, but somehow, some way, just the positioning of this almost breaks through that coverage and would have done a significant chunk of yardage that would have carved through the DC defense.
Kind of threw that just behind Daryl Bullock to get it into Reed's hands. So great gain of 15 to move the chains. First down for the Preds. 2 right, 1 left on the offset eye. Lakeman, quick step, throws out right side, completes it for a gain of 7. And that'll bring it out to Honus Adobe. Let's quickly introduce the Charleston Predator offense. Quarterback there, you see John Lakeman. Running back, Saren Storm, Nick Hoagland. Fullback is Terrell Sutherland. Wide receivers, Honus Adobe, Davius Reed, Benjamin Warner, and rookie Ricky Spider. Tight ends are Lion Trees, Romeo June, and Brian Murphy. On the line, DeBrickashaw Mullinex and Lamarcus Jamarcus Fourth Jr. at tackle. Leroy Finley James at guard. As the run for Sutherland will get just enough for the first down. And last season's All-Star Saint Nebuchadnezzar at center. So another movement of the chains. They get exactly 3 to move it for a first down.
Yeah, and Charleston have really been good at getting these first downs. Going into this game, leading the league in average first downs per game at about 21 per second, in the league.
Lakeman going to change the play here. Reed's going to go in motion to the right side. Looks to be a bit of a zone assignment. Nobody's in pursuit. They'll pitch it out right. And this will be Hoagland getting out to the strong side, crossing midfield down to the 49-yard line for a gain of 6.
And just little by little, this is really how Charleston have really operated on offense. You've got a really a quarterback who you rely on to do a lot of work, and you got to throw in these run plays to give his arm a little break. And when they pick up 5-6 yards, all the better.
It'll be a handoff for Storm up the middle. That's Terrell Sutherland up the middle for the fullback position. Getting about 6 there for another Charleston first down, and you're absolutely right about that. Charleston's running game, they've had just a hair over 1,350 yards on the season. What's the 19th in the league? But compare that to being 3rd in passing. They're doing a really good job of keeping defenses honest. But that was just a quick suss out against Nick Hoagland by number 21, Josh Vasquez, and it goes down for a loss.
Yeah, not sure if that was like a running back spy or what the deal was, but he was immediately in the backfield and really nowhere to go. Perhaps a bit fortunate for Charleston that just went nowhere instead of going backwards.
Yeah, they're going to mark it down as no gain on the play. So Lakeman going to throw, facing a bit of a short blitz. Deflected at the line and incomplete. Good coverage there. That was Jason Bourne coming in on the linebacker blitz.
Yeah, and again, this is really what you got to do against an offense like Charleston is just disrupt their rhythm. If you allow them to really kind of get on the front foot and establish their rhythm, it can be so difficult for you on defense.
Gonna go 2-2, even spread for 3rd and 10. Lakeman to throw, only 4 on the rush. Helm fakes it, needs to get it away, but can't do it in time. It'll be a loss of 5 with the sack from Evan Miller, and that'll take them out of field goal range. They'll have to punt.
And it's the coverage sack, classic coverage sack. We're gonna see that his offensive line is just buying him all kinds of time, but downfield there's nothing opening up. Receivers doing a good job running the routes, but just the sheer coverage. And Charleston gonna hope for a really good punt here.
And this will bring out Eric Blueberry to kick this away. Good kick down the left side of the field. Fair catch will be called for DC. They'll take it back to the 19-yard line. Good defensive hold from DC after kicking the field goal, so they've got the early lead. We're halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah, and moving a little more quickly than we've seen in some games this season. Both of these offenses really firing, and as we said, it could be offense versus offense and defense versus defense.
Could be the movable force, irresistible force, immovable object synergy. Rolls to his left, gets it out to Mike Churchill out to the 41-yard line, and a gain of 22.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good metaphor. The movable force meets the stoppable object, or the stoppable force meets the movable object, because both of these teams have really tough defenses and really powerful offenses, and it's going to be a question of which team missteps first, I think.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on any possible errors that come in. Any sort of turnovers could be key in this ball game. Churchill in motion to the right side, going to even the spread at 2 receivers apiece. Synergy hands it off. Kevin Say, first run for him today, and he's going to run it out for a gain of 3. Let's quickly introduce the Charleston Predator defense. On the line, Thomas Matthews, Anthony Robertson, John Lally, and Robert Cherry. Linebackers, Jack Brown, Mojon Tana, Gino McFly, and Khalil Thomas. Corners, Mark Martin, J.W. Hartshorn, and Corey Menner. Safeties are Matt Ryan, Sam Blotner, John Stamengo, and Guy Incognito. There's another push from Stellar. They've been doing a little bit of 2-to-1 in terms of carries from Say to Stellar, and that one goes for another 4 to bring up 3rd down.
And we mentioned how Charleston have been so good at the pass defense, second in the league with 56. Of course, John Stamengo, the strong safety, is 4th in the league with 11.
Synergy in a little bit of trouble there, gets it away and catches it to Mike Churchill inside the 40 for a Dragon first down.
But this is sort of what we mean, right, about it being a clash of styles, because you've got, excuse me, you've got a really good secondary who wants to take away all these passing options. But again, Shabazz Synergy is one of those very high football IQ quarterbacks who you give him some time in the pocket, he's going to make something happen. So, it's up to Charleston's defense to really be responsive to these routes towards the middle of the field.
Synergy throws on first down and will be out to Lauren Percoco, who gets to the 22, and will move those chains again for a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, and it's again a route towards the middle of the field, man, and it is just Shabazz Synergy and his receivers using these routes towards the middle of the field to really carve up the Charleston coverage here so far.
Lauren Percoco also closing in on 1,000 yards receiving on the day. She'll probably eclipse that mark soon enough. Synergy in the pocket, deflected away and incomplete. Intended for Percoco again, but it was out of the hands of John Stamengo.
Yeah, and John Stamengo, again, one of those names that we called out as someone who really likes to harass in coverage. 4th in the league with 11 going into this game. I mean, 20 interceptions on the career and 700 tackles. He is just a menace in the secondary.
Absolutely. 2nd and 10 for Synergy. Gets it away. Percoco with the catch to the 7-yard line. 13 yards on the pass. 1st and goal, Dragons.
it's really what we've been seeing all drive. Shabazz synergy setting up in the pocket, and it's these routes toward the middle of the field and now up the sideline that are just playing around the double coverage. You know, Shabazz synergy is like, well, you're going to send double coverage at my receivers. Okay, I'm going to put the ball up in the air, and I know they're going to come down and grab it.
First and goal from the 7. Say in an H slot, he'll go back in motion to the I. They will hand it off up the middle for Stellar. And not going to get much on that one, maybe about a yard or so.
Yeah, very, very gutsy to attempt to run up the middle. It's really been something that neither team has been able to establish all night, is these runs up the middle.
We're just under 2 minutes to go here in the first. Second and goal. Synergy to throw. Throws up the middle. Completes it to Prococo. Gets down to the 3. Another 4-yard gain to set up third and goals. To Mango there again on the stop.
And Shabazz synergy now over 100 yards passing. And you can really see how much of a leader that he is for this offense.
Synergy in trouble, and he's brought down with a sack! Big tackle on the play by Khalil Thomas, and it's 4th and goal. DC will have to settle for another field goal.
Wow, and the last time that we saw a sack in this game, it was a coverage sack, but this time around, it is just Khalil Thomas just completely getting the jump. Going into this game, he was top 10 in the league with tackles for loss with 19, and that's a pretty solid 20th one if I do say so myself.
Kick from Potty is good. That'll put him to 19 for 19 on the season. And yeah, that is the first sack for Khalil Thomas this season. Good way to get yourself that 20th tackle for loss.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, and Charleston were just so tough on their own goal line. DC were feeling like, you know, as they were marching up the field, they're carving up the secondary with those routes that they were just going to cruise into the end zone. But Charleston showing some toughness and playing like their season is on the line, because quite frankly, it is.
It really is, as another kick will go deep into the end zone for the touchback. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome aboard. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. First and 10 from the 20-yard line. Lakeman going to have a man in motion. That's Davius Reed going to the left side. Lakeman with 5 on the rush. Will check it down. Onus Adobe staying in bounds, spinning inside, shakes a tackle, and will get a gain of 7 after a long, drawn-out screen.
Hey, you want to talk about playmaking as a receiver there? That looks like it's going to get blown up for -5 or 6 yards, and somehow, some way, staying up, staying in bounds, dancing and juking and dodging, and somehow manages to pick up positive 7 yards there.
Handoff up the middle for Sutherland. Will only get about 2 on the play, but it's going to set up 3rd down and 1 with the tackle there from Chris Britton III. Let's quickly introduce the DC Dragon defense. On the line, Jose Fuentes, Evan Miller, John Gary, Kano Fortson, and Jason Bourne. Linebackers, Declan O'Rourke, Chris Britton III, and Saeed Gore. As a run from the right side will go nowhere, and that's a tackle. That's number 21, Josh Vasquez. He's strong safety with Kevin Zay Jr. Free safeties, John DeSantis. As we said, Saeed Gore's a corner. Xavier Rue III, Peanut Sage, Doobie Doo, and Dara Bullock are the corners. That's the end of the first quarter. It's been a field goal contest for DC, and they're hoping to keep their playoff hopes in the bag. They lead at 6-0. You're watching the SFL, presented by AFB Music on YouTube. So start of the second quarter here in Charleston, a 3-and-out for the Predators, which will force them to punt it away. Blueberry kicking it deep, and it will be fair caught at the 22-yard line. Good flip of the field, but we have an injury on the play.
Ooh.
Saren Storm was doing some special team duties, and he is down on the ground.
Yeah, man, and That is really not what you wanna see. I mean, Charleston really have this three-back system that they like to employ. You know, Nick Hoagland is gonna get a majority of the touches in a given game, but they really do like to vary it up, so that's gonna make it, very tough to play the system that they've established.
Probably going to have to depend on Sutherland just a bit more on that now with Storm being out. We'll try to get an update on that as soon as we can. Synergy in trouble and gets it away just in time before he is laid out, and that will go incomplete.
And both of these teams really sending pressure around the edge. I mean, both of these teams trying to force the other to make a mistake. You know, as we said very early on in this game, sometimes you don't beat your team, the other team. Sometimes you're just not the first one to make a key crucial mistake.
Twins to the right for 2nd and 10. Churchill now in motion to the right. They'll go for an even spread. Synergy facing a bit of a rush, throws out, and will begin complete. Churchill the intended target, but was broken up on that play by Corey Menner. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and this is a situation that DC have not really had to deal with this game. I mean, you know, besides that very tough stop by Charleston on their own goal line, they've done a pretty good job of moving the ball this game.
Yeah, they've managed to get inside the red zone, but they haven't been able to convert it into six. Synergy looking to throw. Goes down to the left side, complete to Churchill at the 40. Great job getting that leaping grab. It's another first down for DC.
Yeah, and sometimes when plays aren't happening, you got to make them happen. I mean, we're going to see this great little out route here. And again, it's just through this little alleyway in the double coverage. And Shabazz Synergy with fantastic vision, a fantastic way of seeing this play and dissecting it. And Shabazz Synergy is cooking. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He is cooking.
15-yard gain there to get it to the 37. Synergy with 5 on the rush will get it away. Churchill again to get it to midfield. And another 13-yard strike to number 19 for a first.
Yeah, and this is the DC that got down the field on this last drive, you know, prior to the stop by Charleston. But again, it's these routes towards the middle of the field. It's, you know, corner routes towards the middle of the field, slant routes, goalpost routes, all these routes that are headed towards the middle of the field, and it gives so many options for Shabazz Synergy to just kind of carve through the double coverage that Charleston is setting up.
They have a lot of options, but it's been Mike Churchill for the last 3 goes. Synergy to throw again, and this one will be a one-handed grab to Josh Gill, who gets it into Charleston territory down to the 35.
Man, and that is just a fantastic athletic grab. I mean, as much as the route running has been in play, I mean, how about this? Just reaches out with one arm, full wingspan extension there to make that grab.
Goes down for another 14-yard gain so far. 137 yards passing for Shabazz Synergy. Going to go for the draw up the middle for Kevin Say, who gets to the 30. And will bring it down for a gain of 4. That was a tackle there from Sam Blotner.
Yeah, both of these teams have been struggling a little bit with the runs. You know, it's been both teams have had some success on the outside, but very heavy traffic up the middle. And DC going to be continuing to try to get Kevin Say into the mix.
Yeah, it should be a real good battle there in the trenches. 71 tackles for losses coming into this game for the Charleston defense. Chuck Stellar pushes a man down and gets to about the 22 to move the chains for another DC first down.
And this is the kind of thing that you got to do up the middle. Just be prepared to run over your man. Oh my goodness. And you know, it's really when and Charleston are sending the block the edge rush so often on the outside, and it's going to make it even harder to get around on the outside on the runs. It's going to be more important to be able to run up the middle.
Synergy, another one-hander to Gill, and they're going to mark him just outside the 10-yard line. It'll be about 10 and a half to move the chains once again. It'll be first and effectively goal for the Dragons.
Yeah, and that's really good play coverage there by Khalil Thomas, the linebacker for Charleston. Watches that all the way and is able to stop that play before it crosses into the end zone. But just really great pass and catch.
First and 10 from just outside the 10, but basically it's goal to go. Synergy facing the blitz, throws up the middle, wide open, Ronnie Shanahan, touchdown DC!
And that really feels like the culmination of what DC have tried to do on offense, just able to move the ball down the field, but really struggling to get those last few feet. And again, it's a route that is headed towards the middle of the field. Shabazz Synergy pulling the trigger a little early because of where that play develops, but they finally get their first touchdown of the game after what has felt like 2 touchdown drives before it that just did not convert.
Drive goes 9 plays, 77 yards as the kick from Potty up and through. That'll make it a 13-0 game with 7:11 to go here in the second quarter. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net, presented by Football Shift. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. Kick away for Potty. They'll be taking it about the 3-yard line. This will be run right up the middle. Good run there from Ricky Spider doing some kick return duties. We'll get the ball out to the Charleston 28.
Well, I mean, there's never really a bad time to score a touchdown, but, you've managed to keep DC out of the end zone twice, and now they finally managed to break that hold. And, there's only so much time left in the game, and as we said, this is one of the most important games of the season. I mean, you really gotta come up with something on offense here.
Yeah, DC has converted every drive that they've been in so far into points. Lakeman gonna go for a little bit of a lob throw. It'll be caught for a gain of 2. That is Brian Murphy, one of the 3 tight ends there for Charleston.
Yeah, a little bit of a dangerous throw too. I mean, just lofted a little bit into the air. I mean, it's a good pitch and catch, but really more downsides than upsides if that gets knocked up into the air.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Twins to the right, 2nd and 8. Stacking the line a little bit here. They're going to rush him up the middle. This will be a run for Hoagland, who's going to struggle to get about 2. Tackle there from John DeSantis will bring up 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, and it's becoming something that we see more and more from SFL running backs nowadays. Just sort of going with this block up the middle and trying to see what develops. Nothing really happening that time, though, unfortunately.
From the 32, split backs, 3 wide receivers. Benjamin Warner going to go in motion to the right side. He is being pursued by Xavier Rue III. Lakeman rolls out to his right, faces pressure and cannot get away from Jose Fuentes. It'll go down for a sack, a loss of 6, and it's another 3 and out for Charleston.
Yeah, and this is a case that's really tough because Jose Fuentes looked like he was blocked there. I mean, and that is just really tough to take if you're Charleston, because you feel like you're setting up in the pocket and you got those blocks, but man, just one little swim move, and that's the persistence of Fuentes there.
It'll be another punt for Blueberry. It'll go down to the 27. Run back up the middle by Shanahan to bring it out to the DC 34-yard line. If you're liking the game so far, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. DC with the ball. They lead at 13-0 here with 5:31 to go here in the second. 1st and 10. Twins to the right. They hand off up the middle for Stellar. Pushing and shoving and gets down for a good gain. But we have another Predator down. This one is Robert Cherry.
Yeah, this game is that's a good call about the pushing and shoving. I mean, this is a game that I had sort of written down on my notes in a race that this game could potentially get very scrappy, and these players are professionals, but could potentially get very ugly in terms of, things getting very personal. I mean, when you're playing with your season on the line, you can't afford to, always be a perfect sportsman and gentleman.
Yeah, that's going to be the second Predator down. They had Saren Storm, now Robert Cherry, so hopefully they'll be able to get back into the field sooner than later. Kevin Say running outside, staying on his feet, and just going to get chopped short of the first down. Tackle there from Mark Martin to set up a 3rd and 1.
Man, and how big would this be if you're Charleston to get this stop? I mean, DC have really found their rhythm in this first half, and to get a stop here would just be so huge.
3rd and 1. They hand it off up the middle, and it's going to be another run for Stellar in the fullback position. Going to get close to the midfield for the first.
Yeah, usually it's the Kevin Say that we see getting these runs up the middle so far this game, but they see something they like in Stellar. I mean, they got that he got the huge run up the middle already.
Pass up the middle complete to Gill, who will get to the 40, and another 11-yard pass completion will get the ball moving again for another first.
Yeah, and this is really what DC has done so well all game that has seen them in the lead. And again, hey, would you look at that little corner out towards the middle, and it's Shabazz synergy. I think a real part of his success on offense is the fact that he doesn't even have to look, okay, I'm not looking left, I'm not looking right, I'm just looking straight up the middle, and that's where all these routes are going to develop.
So far, Josh Gill, Lauren Prococo, and Mike Churchill all with 4 receptions apiece, accounting for 12 of the 14 completions. Synergy facing the rush, has Prococo wide open, she'll push up the middle, and will get another 10 yards. No, they're going to say she's short. They'll give her about 9 and change. It'll be 2nd and 1.
And as we always see, it seems like with this DC offense really spreading the love around, as Shabazz synergy creeps up ever so slowly on 200, Mike Churchill over 50 yards, Josh Gill over 50 yards, Lauren Prococo is going to jump over 50 yards with that as well. So it's not only having these great receivers, but having so many that come online at the same time pretty much.
And that catch does give Lauren Prococo over 1,000 yards receiving on the season. As the run for Kevin Say, it's just enough for the first down to move the chains once again.
Yeah, and it's that's really kind of a testament, I think, to Shabazz Energy quietly having one of the better seasons in this league as a quarterback. DC have struggled a little bit sometimes, but he's really been that consistent piece, that sort of guiding light on offense.
After the 2-yard gain, 1st and 10 from the 28. Synergy rolls to his left. Throwing the deep ball will be complete to Shanahan down to the 10. They'll say it's just enough. This will be a second first, same as the first. It's 1st and 10 outside the 10.
Yeah, and it's Charleston typically make it very difficult for quarterbacks, and again, it's man coverage, double coverage. This coverage that typically works so well for Charleston, but just the quick decisions by Shabazz synergy, finding so much space. Over 200 yards, a touchdown pass, and a quarterback rating in the 130s. He has really been that kind of focus point on offense for DC.
From 1st and 10 at the 11, throws right side and incomplete. Churchill, the intended target. Broken up on that play by Mark Martin. It's going to be a big stop here for Charleston if they can hold them to another 3 points and effectively keep this a 2-score game. 2 receivers left in an offset eye. Synergy will throw. Up the middle, over the target, incomplete again. Lauren Prococo, the intended receiver. The Synergy putting a little too much mustard on that pass.
Yeah, just a very slightly overthrown. And to be fair, this is the kind of thing, when you're have this work for you so well, you can kind of become a little overconfident. You throw the ball up the way of Prococo or Gill or Churchill. They're going to pull down and grab that, but just a little bit overthrown there.
3rd down and 10 from the 11. 3rd and basically goal to go. Trips right, 1 to the left. Synergy only with 3 on the rush. Out the middle. Oh, and out of the hands of Prococo into triple coverage. John Stamengo with the breakup, and it's another fourth down in the red zone.
Yeah, and John Stamango has, as we mentioned, been so tough, such a menace in the secondary for Charleston. And again, they get another such a crucial goal line stop. Of course, you've eventually got to start converting these, and that's really just all there is to it. You got to get this goose egg off the board to start with. But it's such a crucial stop for Charleston.
Another kick on the way for Potty. Potty is up and good. And that'll make it 16-0 with 2:36 to go in the second quarter. You got to feel, even though it's a long two-score lead for the Dragons, Charleston's got to feel good that they've only allowed DC to get in the end zone one time on 4 drives.
Yeah, and really the only thing that you've got to fix, if you fix your offense, make those micro adjustments that you need to. I mean, this is not a game that's over. As we have seen many times in the past, there is plenty of time for a comeback in pretty much any given SFL game.
Absolutely. Ricky Spider on the return duty there, going to bring it out to the Charleston 24. Lakeman has not had a bad run. He's 6 of 7, but it's only gotten about 20 yards of passing. There's been a couple that have gone down by the wayside, but he's not doing so bad. He's just going to have to get his rhythm going, and I think he'll be just fine. 2 tight ends right here on first down. They're going to hand it off to the strong side for Hoagland, who will shake 1 tackle, but Declan O'Rourke is there to make the tackle for a gain of 2.
Well, to your point, partner. I mean, John Lakeman, only 6 for 7 with 20 yards, but that works out to be 85.7% completion. So I think it really kind of is symptomatic of how Charleston have struggled to find a rhythm. But if they can, if they can get back on their front foot, I mean, that is really a good omen for them.
Hoagland again out to the right side, only going to get 1 as he's brought down by both O'Rourke and Josh Vasquez. That'll make it 3rd down and 7 on the other side of the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the first half already. It has been a quick one. DC leading at 16-0. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music here on YouTube. Third down, split spread for Charleston. Lakeman throws left side, completed to Benjamin Warner, who will get the first down at the 37.
Man, and that is more like it if you're Charleston. They a great little out route to the outside, and it's sort of what DC have been doing with these routes towards the middle of the field, just kind of carving a little alleyway between the double coverage, and that's exactly what you see on that route by Charleston.
They're actually going to mark him up to the 38-yard line. Goes down for a gain. Goes down for a gain of about 11 yards. Now Davius Reed in motion to the left side. 90 seconds to go here in the half. From the eye, handed off to Hoagland. Pushes the 1 and gets around John DeSantis and brought down for a gain of 4.
Yeah, good job to pick up little chunks of yardage on these runs by Charleston. I mean, and it's so difficult. Not only is there so much traffic up the middle, but as we say, these teams keep sending pressure around the outsides as well.
Lakeman again, and there's a penalty marker down here. This might be early pass interference on this play. Yeah, and that one's called on Daryl Bullock of DC, so that'll be a first down for the Preds right at midfield. More importantly, it stops the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh man, that is a very bang play. We've seen in some of these games towards the back stretch of the season that these referees refereeing very close to the letter of the law, less so than the spirit of the law. And you got to know that as a team, and you got to avoid these shoot yourself in the foot penalties at all costs.
So right for midfield, 1st and 10 with 1:07 to go here in the first half. Lakeman steps back, throws right side, deflected away, incomplete. Xavier Rue III got his hands on that one.
And that is just a great athletic play to get your hands on this, get your fingertips on this, and make this stop, or make this deflection rather. Excuse me. And, as much as DC have really shown on offense with the athleticism and the routes and the grabs, they can really show some athleticism in their secondary sometimes as well.
2nd and 10, read in motion to the left side. Showing a bit of blitz here from DC on Charleston's left. They'll back it off and rush up the middle. Pass over to the left side, completed to Reed, who will get to the 39-yard line, and a timeout by Charleston.
Yeah, valiantly fighting to try to keep him behind the line there, but just would not be denied, just riding that momentum across the first down marker.
Ends up going for a gain of 11. More importantly, they have the clock stopped now in enemy territory. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. You see Hoagland there in the backfield. 5 on the rush. Gets the one-handed grab to Warner. Another timeout called, but another 12-yard gain.
And it was DC on the other side of the ball that made exactly that kind of catch of just finding the space in between the double coverage and then just full wingspan reaching out for it and grabbing it. I mean, both these teams have 2 units that are trying to make plays and trying to set up their team for success.
Any points here would be a success for Charleston for sure. Lakeman to throw on 1st down. Pressure up the middle. Gets it away. Hoagland on the screen. And he's brought down for a loss of 5. That'll be the final timeout for Charleston. Fuentes there on the tackle.
Yeah, and that is terrifying when you've got a 6'5", 280-pound Jose Fuentes who it looks like he's burned, but all of a sudden just finds like a second gear and just chases you down. That is terrifying stuff.
So they'll go 2-2 spread on 2nd and long from the 30. Lakeman to throw. Quick pass. Another one-handed grab to Adobe. As they'll go to the 17, it's a gain of 8. They had to go no huddle. Less than 40 seconds to go. Lakeman to step up again, up the middle. Another, it was out of the hands of Adobe and incomplete. It'll be 4th and 2. And I think they'll have to bring out the field goal unit, get some kind of points.
Yeah, you got to take 3 points here. I mean, you have not been able to get points this entire half. I mean, you just got to erase the goose egg and make the adjustments you need to in that halftime break and, come back stronger because, boy, that is demoralizing to go into the half with a 0 on your side of the board.
34-yard try for Brad Bretchett on the right hash. Up and on its way, drawing in, and it's good. That'll put Charleston on the board with 31 seconds left in the half, and it's a 16-3 ball game.
So it feels like if you're Charleston, now you can kind of let your breath out. That question of when are those first points going to come is now not a question anymore. Brad Breckett for Charleston. Also another kicker that has 100% on the season.
And a nice deep kick into the end zone will go for the touchback. So it'll be a 1st down at the 20 for DC now with 31 seconds to go. They've got a 13-point lead. Probably don't want to do anything to squander it. So we probably expect them to just kind of take it easy and run down the clock.
Yeah, I mean, very, very possible that they just snap it. I mean, this rushing unit as an offense leads the league in fewest fumbles, so it makes sense. You've effectively got a hands team on offense, so.
Handoff will go to Kevin Say. It'll go for a gain of 5 as Mojon Tana's there on the stop. And that's probably all they'll need to do to just kind of get themselves into the tunnel with a 13-point lead.
Yeah, and, a moral victory for Charleston to get those 3 points going into the half, but you really got to evaluate what went wrong in that first half and make those adjustments that you need to.
Oh, but they snap it to Stellar, who will go onto the outside and get another 1st down. Good stop on the play from Jack Brown. Stellar almost got away with a big one, but ends up getting about 7. And that'll take us to the end of the first half. Pretty quick first half, but it's been a pretty good ball game. DC with a 16-3 lead as we go into the break. It has been an aerial attack from Shabazz Synergy for most of this game. He's already up to 200 yards passing on the day. And we haven't seen much on the ground from Say or Stellar. They combined for about 50 yards of rushing. So it's been a great passing attack. It's kind of given the onions of DC to just go right into this tough secondary.
Yeah, just to put that in perspective for the viewers at home, DC in that first half had 251 yards of total offense. Of that, 197 of those were passing yards. So as you call out very well, Shabazz Synergy had an amazing first half. I mean, he was the anchor of this DC offense, and if he can continue to do what he did in that first half, which is to say to use these routes to really carve up the double coverage and the triple coverage and the man coverage up the middle, I mean, DC have given themselves all the leeway and all the grace that they need to get across the finish line.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick look at the injury update. So far, Robert Cherry with the leg cramps, so he will probably be questionable return. But Saren Storm is out for the game. He pulled calf muscle, so Saren Storm's night is done, unfortunately. But we will probably see Robert Cherry come back out onto the field sometime later tonight.
Yeah, and this is a game that is so important. I mean, you don't want to lose any of your players, but very reasonable. I mean, you can't ask your running back to run with one leg. Of course, he's going to be out for this game.
Absolutely. Another kneel down here as Charleston will take the ball to start the second half. And they will get it right up to the 20-yard line. The stage is set for the final weekend of the regular season. Saturday, the Central Division winner will finally be decided with all 4 teams in action at 9 p.m. Eastern, plus the most hyped battle of the season Monday night when 10-1 Alamo City visits 11-0 Fort Worth. For a full list of games and playoff ramifications, visit Simulationfl.net. That's going to be a fun one. The current 1 and 2 ranked teams going at it on Monday night. Lakeman the throw on first down. Gets away. Right side will be completed to Warner. Just enough for 11 yards and a first down.
I mean, that is just a perfectly placed pass. You saw that was John Stamango, who has been just such a big figure in the secondary for DC, or excuse me, that's Darrell Bullock, who is such a big figure in the secondary for DC, making a stab at that, but that is just placed absolutely perfectly by John Lakeman.
Yeah, Bullock, the only DC Dragon who has a pick 6 on this defense. First and 10 as they go for trips to the left with the Romeo June going in motion. Handoff for Hoagland, right side. Gets a bit of a double team there from Declan O'Rourke and Josh Vasquez, and ends up going for a gain of 4.
Little bit of amateur wrestling action there, just trying to bring him down, and that resilience can really be something positive for Charleston if they're able to continue to pick up these chunks and continue to pick up these yards. Eventually, something good is going to happen for Nick Hoagland and Terrell Sutherland.
Yeah, he's gonna have that breakout run. You gotta figure it. 2nd and 6. Reed in motion to the right from the offset eye. It'll be a handoff up the right side for Sutherland. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage with Saeed Gore making the tackle. So it'll once again be 3rd and 6.
Yeah, 3rd, and this should be fairly manageable. I mean, John Lakeman has made a fantastic pass already this half.
3 receivers in the offset eye. Nickel D for DC. They're going to rush 5 on the blitz. Lakeman rolls out to his left. Has a man down the field, and it's incomplete. Onus Adobe, the intended receiver, but John DeSantis was all over him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we mentioned that you gotta avoid those kind of shoot yourself in the foot, ticky-tacky penalties down the stretch. But again, you also cannot let that affect your effort. And just effort is the way that double coverage, that the way that is set up and the way that they disrupt that play.
So it'll be a punt from Blueberry once again. That's his 4th one of the night. And Shanahan tried to make a return on it, but Herndon with the tackle will put DC at their own 28. So it's time to see if this Charleston defense can continue to bend but not break. they're facing a 13-point deficit. They got to get some kind of takeaway to get some momentum back for the Preds.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really so tough. Both these teams so good, and it's so fighting for their lives this season.
Kevin Say runs out to the outside and will get a gain of 7. Well, that'll put him effectively tied with Chuck Steller in an equal amount of yards, but with Kevin Say getting one less attempt, he's at 4.5 yards per carry, with Chuck Steller at an even 4.
Yeah, and it really feels like everything, besides the passing yards of synergy, it really feels like been very evenly balanced. Everyone's sharing the offensive load for DC.
Steller with a run up the middle will get enough for the first down. Got about 4 on that play, and will keep the drive alive for the Dragons.
Yeah, and this is the name of the game for DC. I mean, you've already got, a two-score lead effectively, and the just marching down the field and chewing time off the clock is going to be so beneficial down the stretch.
Synergy going to throw up the middle. Caught to Lauren Prococo. She gets into enemy territory down to the 44 of Charleston. And another big drive to the tight end for a first down.
Yeah, and that's really been the thing, right? Like here it is, route up the middle towards one of these very reliable receivers who pulls it down and picks up some yards after catch. I mean, that has been the formula for DC, and it's not a very complex recipe, but I always like to say KISS, and keeping it simple sometimes is the best recipe.
Absolutely. Lauren Prococo looking to get herself a second All-Star appearance, as Steller going to run up the middle, get a gain of 9. Tackle there on the play from Jack Brown, be 2nd and 1.
Man, and this looks like a play that's going to get blown up, but somehow this turns into 8 yards, and it's just the physicality, the athleticism, and the balance of SFL running backs nowadays that gets it there.
Excuse me, that was Blotner there who made who's being marked for the tackle there. 2nd and a short 1. Handoff for Say to the left side. Will get the first down and gets to the 33-yard line before Corey Menner brings him to a stop. And again, another 3-yard gain to move the chains.
Well, and DC really doing a good job this drive to try to establish the run and develop the run, because you really got to chew time off the clock, and so you got to kind of figure out how to get these runs in without getting stopped.
Say gonna run left side and gets another 6-yard gain and gets pushed out of bounds. Keeps the drive moving for 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and again,
that's the 2nd in a row for Kevin Say.
Yeah, DC just using Kevin Say to march down the field. Of course, Shabazz Synergy has had his hand as well, but it's these little chunk yardage run plays that are just keeping the clock moving now.
Yeah, as we're closing in on under 6 minutes to go in the third, Steller moving ahead again, and another stop from John Stamango will make it 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and I think that's really the thing if you're DC. I mean, of course, you would love to just rush down the field and go up by 3 scores. Of course, that's your ideal situation. But if you get a field goal or a touchdown and you chew off half of the third quarter, I mean, that is just fantastic if you're DC.
There'll be another run up the middle for Steller. Gets inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, wrapped up by Khalil Thomas. But another extra 4 yards on the play, and it's another DC first down. They are just moving up the middle on this run attack.
Yeah, and this has really been the specialty of Charleston this season. As we mentioned, that they have the most or second most first downs per season. DC, meanwhile, are in the bottom half at 20th.
Say gonna run out right side to phase 1 tackler, but cannot get away from Jack Brown. Ends up rolling out to the right for a gain of 7.
And again, it's the first point of contact, athletic move, and just following the blocks. Again, the KISS philosophy really working out for DC. When you got the great passing up the middle, okay, we're going to set up blocks and just run through those blocks. You're very basic, but again, it's working for them.
Absolutely. 2nd and 3. Steller up the middle from the fullback run. We'll get it to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal to go for DC. it's been 7 runs in a row for this DC offense. It's their ninth out of 10 on the drive. They've only had one throw this entire drive. First and goal to go. I formation. Receiver to the right. They hand off to Say. Left side. Pushing and down to the 1. It'll be second down and goal. Oh my goodness. 10 of 11 plays have gone for rushes.
And not only is it only one pass, but it was that one pass that went to Lauren Prococo to get him across the halfway mark here.
And for Stellar, denied at the line of scrimmage. Jack Brown there to help make the tackle. Third down and goal now coming up.
But how many times have we seen this exact story this game where DC get down the field, they get very, very close, and Charleston put up just the most brutal goal line defense you've ever seen.
They got one more shot to stop them. Third and goal from the 1, 3 feet away. Stellar up the middle, dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Dragons.
Well, you can't get around. You can't go up the middle. So it's pretty much the only route left besides just taking a knee as soon as the ball is handed off to you is to go vertical and just a leap over the Charleston defensive line, Superman pose and all. And that is a fantastic run to cap off a very run-heavy drive for DC. And not only do they score, not only is it a fantastic running performance, but they chew off darn near half of the third quarter, if not more.
No, you're absolutely right. They chewed out 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the third quarter, 13 plays, 72 yards. As the extra point from Potty's up and good. It's going to be 23-3 in favor of DC with 3:20 to go here in the third. And it's kind of that old adage on that last play. If your two dimensions are denied, you got to go for the third. Kick up the middle here for Honus Adobe. He'll try to get around some traffic and will bring Charleston out to the 26-yard line. Now available free to download, you can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K 23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com, search SFL, and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL. Charleston in a bit of a pickle here, down 20 with about 13 minutes to go in this ball game. Split spread of receivers here for Lakeman. Gonna throw it up the middle, will be completed. That's Brian Murphy, one of the tight ends, making that catch for a gain of 7.
Yeah, and man, time is just so much the enemy if you're Charleston right now. I mean, DC managing to take so much time off the clock, and you know you've had time to assess what needs to be done different, and you got to start putting a little bit of pace on it now as well.
Hoagland going to run out the outside, gets that first down, and will roll out to the 42-yard line. Another gain of 7 to move the chains for the Preds.
Wow, and they have been slowly chaining together these runs. And again, we're going to see that it's these blocks that really set this up here. 66 for Charleston, really setting that up, and almost getting around does Terrell Sutherland.
Yeah, that was Finley James, the guard, helping do some duty there alongside with Terrell Sutherland on the fullback block. Gets it to the 42 for 1st and 10. 3 receivers spread. And they'll put Adobe in motion out to the left. It's an offset eye versus a nickel. Lakeman facing a bit of a blitz. Gets it away up the middle. Incomplete. Looks like Adobe was the intended target, but got into a bit of double coverage.
Yeah, and that first down is really a positive development for Charleston. I mean, they have, there's no other way to put it. I mean, they've had struggled so much to convert, to not get stopped, but now finally able to get that first down, and it's so important to now string them together.
Lakeman in a bit of trouble, gets it away, overthrows his target, and that'll be incomplete. You see O'Rourke there on the blitz, forcing that early pass.
Yeah, and that's what you need to do. I mean, John Lakeman is certainly no slouch, but that's really what you need to do. And it's been kind of the MO of this DC defense is to force John Lakeman to make quick decisions. And and he really has not had time to set up all that often this game.
2-2 versus the dime. Lakeman gets away from the pressure, throws out left side, complete to Warner, and stepping out of bounds at the 38-yard line. First down, Predators.
Well, again, it's the footsteps in his ears. I mean, just the pressure it goes to set up and has to be on the move again. But this is just a fantastic pass towards the sidelines and a fantastic job to haul it in.
Yeah, great job getting away from that pressure and getting out for the pass. Goes down for a completion to the 38. Big pass play there to get into enemy territory. 1st and 10, Twins to the right side. It's a gain of 20 on that pass to Warner. Lakeman throws up the middle, will be completed. And that's Davius Reed on the catch, getting another first. Gets about 11 or 12 on that play.
And this is the rhythm that really Charleston have not been able to find so far this game. Again, it's just the runs are succeeding. Now John Lakeman getting in on the attack, and this is a great job with this pass to throw bravely into this man coverage and a better job to pull it down.
Putting them just a hair outside. Just a hair outside the 25 on that gain of 12. 1st and 10. 2 receivers, even split. Lakeman to throw, stepping back. Gets a little bit of coverage, and it will be completed for a 9-yard gain to Brian Murphy. That'll be completion number 2 for him today.
Yeah, and it looked like he was going to get across the line there, just stay up and balance his way across the line there. Very close, 2nd and 1, though.
Yeah, a little bit more than 1 here for 2nd down, but absolutely doable. They'll hand it off up the middle, and Sutherland on the run will get about 4 and push his way inside the 25 for the first.
Oh, and this is the drive that Charleston have been needing all game, and it's still going to be an uphill battle, but this is the kind of thing that you're looking for to make that recovery, to make that comeback.
Excuse me, he's inside the 15 now, as they're at the 12. Hoping to get some more points out of this. 1st and 10, Lakeman pitches out right for Hoagland. Tried to go into the gap and got caught right at the line of scrimmage by John DeSantis. They'll credit him with 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And does a good job trying to get around to the outside there. Just does run into his block ever so slightly there.
So that'll wind us down to the final seconds of the 3rd quarter. 10 minutes to go here in the regular season for DC and Charleston. Playoff implications on the line with the Dragons up by 20. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music here on YouTube. It's time to read us our rights.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Ten minutes to go here in the regular season for Charleston and DC, both of them fighting for their playoff lives. Charleston trailing the Dragons 23-3 as we start the 4th quarter. Ethan Muslin, Alden Bleeker here on the call tonight. We're getting some great stat work here from Jacob Clear and DJ Woods as Hoagland runs outside and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Predators!
Wow, and how about this? Charleston have struggled all game long, and this is a moment of euphoria that you see for the Charleston fans because finally able to get this run to work to the outside, and there is absolutely nothing but green grass, well, a little bit of black and red grass towards there at the end for Nick Hoagland, but a fantastic touchdown for Charleston, and it is not too late to come back. As we said, that between the fact that the SFL, there have been so many crazy comebacks in history, and just the fact that there's a little bit of that, October magic, whatever you want to call it, in the air. It just feels like this is a game that you're not going to want to take your eyes off of.
Absolutely. Bridget kicks the extra point to make it 23-10 with 9:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Now it's a 2-score game as this kick will go deep into the end zone for the touchback. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Pass up the middle here for Synergy, gets it to Percoco, who will get out to the 31 and a gain of 11.
Yeah, and that is, again, I mean, I feel like it bears repeating that DC have just really loved this method of setting up pass offense for their for Shabazz Synergy. Just run routes towards the middle of the field and give him options, and he's going to pick the correct one 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, Percoco now 7 for 86 yards out of 11 targets. She's been the go-to workhorse for this DC offense. Say going in motion out to the right side. He's going to be an H receiver. Bit of a dime package here as they're going to run it up the middle. Stellar only going to get back to the line. They'll credit him with a yard. Tackle there from Corey Menner. Let's take it over to Jacksonville with its SFL update with Cameron Irvine.
Thank you, Ethan. Jacksonville taking on Atlanta tonight, and this one is all about O.J. Bruin. Bruin with 56 rushing yards, over 100 passing yards, and this score as Jay Ballmer crosses the pylon. 28-14, a good one in Florida. Back to you.
This game is Synergy, throws it, and it's incomplete. A bit of a deflection there from J.W. Hartshorn. They're bringing up 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, and this is really, I mean, if you're a Charleston fan, you're salivating now. I mean, 3rd and long, again, it's a situation that DC have really not had to deal with this game, but now, oh man, it is so big for Charleston.
If they can stop them here, Synergy looking to throw, gets away from pressure, gonna have to run it himself, but brought down by Jack Brown at the line of scrimmage. Great defensive stop from the Charleston defense. They'll get the ball back on the first 3 and out for DC.
The co-owner stepping up and making the play himself, fighting for his team. And Jacob Clear, the Charleston owner, has said to us, I believe this is a direct quote, that where there's life, there's hope. And if you're Charleston, that has got to be your slogan, your MO, because you're down, but you are very much not out, and you can feel the energy returning to this stadium, returning to these Charleston fans, and returning to this Charleston team.
Yeah, absolutely. Now a 2-score game. Charleston getting the fair catch. Gonna get it from their own 40-yard line. Pretty good field position to start this drive. 60 yards away to make it a 1-score game. Offset eye. They're gonna set up to twins to the left with Reed going into motion. Bullock in pursuit of Reed. Lakeman will hand it off up the middle, and it's a breakaway here for Sutherland. It will roll out for a gain of 8.
And again, just another one of those gator roll situations where, you get wrapped up and you just kind of use the momentum to carry yourself towards the first down marker. I mean, that looked like it was going to roll all the way across there, but a very manageable second down if you're Charleston.
Absolutely, and it's been a kind of a duel here between Hoagland, Say, and Stellar. Both of them, both Stellar and Say, around 50-ish yards. There's another one for Sutherland, who will get just enough for the first down, crossing just into the midfield line.
Man, and how about the determination on these runs by Charleston? First play, tackled, and just stays up and tries to get as far, gets 8 yards, and again gets tackled, stays up, gets as much yardage as possible, and gets across the line. It's just dogged determination by Charleston this drive.
Gets it over to the DC 49. 1st and 10. Warner in motion to the right side. Split back set. Versus the nickel. They'll hand it off for Hoagland. Caught in a bit of traffic. Pushing. And we'll get about 3 with the stop from Vasquez.
A bit of an unorthodox handoff there. Just kind of teed it up for him there. And it's really been Charleston running a lot this drive. You would think with the time left on the clock, you would get your quarterback John Lakeman more involved.
They're going to get it out to Sutherland again, but he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. This time by Jose Fuentes. They'll credit him with about a yard, so it'll be 3rd down and 8 coming up.
Yeah, and man, this is so big for I almost wonder how close we are to 4 down territory, because I mean, this is your season, this fourth quarter.
Lakeman gonna throw, gets away from the pressure, gonna run it himself, pushing into a defender. Will get down to the 43-yard line, 5 yards on the rush, but it won't be enough for the first.
Yeah, and oh man, I see the logic of the punt, but I almost think this is 4 down territory with the season on the line. I mean, still time, and you still got 3 timeouts, but I mean, you're 2 scores down. I think you gotta take a chance and believe in yourself.
They're gonna try to go for the coffin. Oh, and it's gonna roll into the end zone. Oh, it was bounced out to the 1. They were hoping to get a little bit of a generous bounce, but it ends up going in for the touchback.
Well, if you're Charleston, now you can get the stop against DC. The huge hit on the quarterback to end that previous drive, and now you got to do it again. I mean, that's that you got to string these stops together.
Synergy gonna throw on 1st down up the middle. Percoco with a one-handed grab gets 14 yards on the play to get to the 34.
I mean, this is just unfathomable that this particular kind of passing play has worked so well so often for DC, and it's 2 routes, 3 routes towards the middle of the field, and it just feels like Shabazz Synergy is playing 3-card Monty, and like he's the mark that makes you think you can win.
Oh, and another one to Percoco. She gets over midfield, over 100 yards receiving on the day.
And just another example of just that little 3-card Monty in the middle of the field. Like I said, Shabazz Synergy is the fake mark that gets set up by the scam, that you think that you can outthink him, but he is just outthinking everyone on this field pretty much.
Now into Charleston territory at the 47. They'll hand off to Say, right side, and will be brought down by Jack Brown for a gain of 4. More importantly, DC has wrangled momentum away from the Predators as we now reach the halfway point of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it really feels like a body blow delivered to Charleston, and across the 50. I would be very surprised if we see another throw.
Synergy will go. Oh, and threw it just as he got hit. It will be an incompletion. Mojontana on the linebacker blitz, bringing the pressure.
Yeah, and a bit of a tuck rule incompletion there, because that looked like there was possibly that could have been a fumble, if you ask me.
They'll go trips right for 3rd and 6. Only rushing 3. Synergy, pump fakes, in trouble, brought down by Anthony Robertson for a loss of 3 on the sack.
Well, I mentioned that I would be very surprised if DC threw the ball again, but they set up to do it twice in a row after I said that. I just really think that you've had so much success on this drive running the ball. I mean, you just gotta run it twice and try to either get the conversion or just chew some time off the clock, but you're giving Charleston a chance to make this comeback.
They're going to let this one bounce. It's going to take a nice, generous DC bounce, and they'll down it right at the 11-yard line. Monday night, another week of the SFL and another season of the SFL wraps up with This Week in the SFL rewinding the tape on what has been an electrifying Week 14 already. Plus, Alamo City and Fort Worth battle for the #1 seed in the postseason. This week in the SFL will be at 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Kickoff, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. And that'll be on Monday night here on the SFL YouTube. 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Lakeman facing a blitz. Needs to get it away. Will throw it out. Almost intercepted. That was almost a pick from Peanut Say, but it will be an incomplete.
Yeah, and that would have been the nail in the coffin for Charleston. I mean, again, I really do start to wonder if you're in four-down territory, if you're Charleston, because you have really got to get something productive out of this drive.
Or at the very least, they might need to quicken up their pace, try to get something quick, and try to get the ball back. 2nd and 10, Twins to the left. Lakeman will hand it off. Hoagland shakes one tackler and gets a bit of a double team at the 15. Will get him down for a gain of 6, but now with 4 minutes to go, they got to start hurrying up here. They're down 2 scores.
Yeah, and really, I mean, you want to save all 3 of your timeouts, or at the very least use that 2-minute warning as a timeout, on either on this side of the ball or on the other side of the ball. But really, clock management is so crucial, such a big part of the puzzle for Charleston.
Pitch right to Hoagland, gets a block, gets a first down to the 25, down to the 30, and will be pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Big gain there for Hoagland and a first down.
Well, that is what Charleston has in mind when they're setting up when they're setting up these runs here. And you see that for DC, that it's Josh Vasquez, the strong safety, just in a foot race all the way down the field, and that is something for Nick Hoagland that very well, very easily could have gone all the way down the field if not for the effort on defense.
Goes for 16 yards, longest play on the ground from scrimmage. Pass completed to Ricky Spider, who will roll out to the midfield, and another first down for Charleston. Now they're going to go no huddle.
Yeah, and I think they found a matchup that they finally like.
After the 18-yard pass here for Spider. Oh, and a penalty on the play. This might be a bit of an unnecessary rough. Yeah, this will be a face mask call on Josh Vasquez.
An incidental
They will
face
take
mask.
the penalty. All right.
Yeah, and it stops the clock and gives you another down with some extra yards. Incidental face mask, you see a lot less common than the other kind of face mask. Just a little hand to the face there.
So it makes it 1st and 5. More importantly, stops the clock with 3:26. Adobe going in motion to the right side. Lakeman stepping, throws right. Another penalty on the play here. I think Bullock might have gotten there a little too early.
Well, it's as if we were foreshadowing it earlier, but again, these refs are refereeing so tightly to the letter of the law as these games become more and more important, as these thousands and thousands of scenarios break off into just a few realistic ones. And man, these shoot yourself in the foot fouls really, really hurt. I mean, again, you can't fault the effort on defense, but you can fault giving up 10 yards, 15 yards.
Yeah, they've given up now on those 2 penalties. They've given up 13 yards of offense to Charleston from the shotgun. Lakeman throwing out right side, completes it. Davius Reed stays on his feet and down to the 29-yard line. Gain of 11 for the first down. And again, going back to the no-huddle offense. Lakeman to throw again. Going left side this time and overthrew his target, incomplete.
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown. And, I think this is the correct tempo for Charleston to be running, mind you. You gotta find the right formation and find a mismatch and just keep running it. Just keep running. Go right back to the line as soon as the play ends.
3:08 to go here in the ball game. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Lakeman pass up the middle, complete to Warner. Down to the 10-yard line. They'll give it to the 9. 1st and goal to go. They're going back to no huddle. Hoping to get some pay dirt here. Lakeman to throw. Pass left side. Out of the hands of Davius Reed. Incomplete.
Yeah, it's a great throw towards Reed. I mean, gets it into his hands, but I mean, triple coverage really had very, very little chance of ever securing that one.
does stop the clock with 2:54 to go. Lakeman in shotgun, 3 receivers, 2 to the left. Nickel pack for DC. They rush 5, pass. Warner, touchdown, Charleston!
And man, it looked like it was gonna dissolve very early in the drive on the other side of the field for Charleston. And they somehow, some way, these runs, these passes, they mark their way down the field, and they give themselves a chance to strike back now and to fight their way into this playoff position. Charleston have not given up a single time this entire game, and as a result, they are still in it.
Yeah, this is effectively a battle for that 8th spot in the playoffs. Extra point up and good. That'll make it 23-17 with 2:52 to go here in the 4th quarter. Quick breakdown of the playoffs for both these squads. Whoever wins gets the 8th spot. Whoever loses goes down to 14th and will need 2 6 and 5 teams, Louisiana, San Diego, or Vancouver, to lose to give themselves a chance to sneak into the playoffs. Vegas could as well go to 6 and 6, but their strength of victory is so large it's more than likely that the Fury are probably in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, as you say, you know, both of these teams really need this win. Of course, there are scenarios where a 7 and 5 team gets left out. It's happened in the past, but you know, this win is so crucial for this division.
Stellar with the run up the middle will get 9.5, just short of the line to gain. It'll be 2nd in inches for DC. Oh man, and don't forget the other game going on right now in Jacksonville. Right now, the Kings are up on the Swarm, 35-14 in the 3rd quarter. OJ Bruin right now 17 of 19 for 225 and two tutties. And he's been doing pretty well for himself as well on the ground. Prococo goes in motion out to the left side for 2nd and short. Clock winding down as we approach the 2-minute warning. Synergy caught by Stellar and immediately brought down by Khalil Thomas. It's a loss of 4.
Wow, and Khalil Thomas with the superhuman reaction time. Again, we mentioned got his 20th tackle for loss, top 10 in the league, and he just blows this play up. I mean, I don't want to say Spidey sense, but I mean, Spidey sense, question mark?
Maybe. 2 minutes left to go. Charleston down by 6. Good. What an incredible way to kick off this week 14 of action here in the SFL. Exciting finish coming down the line. Synergy going to hand it off to Stellar, who will get the first down, go up to the 35, and that'll be a timeout taken by the Predators. So we'll have about 1:55 to go here in the 4th quarter. They need to make a stop here if they want to get the ball back.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last stand for Charleston's defense. Not only it could be for this game and it could be for the season. I mean, again, a lot of things to still shake out, but you have got to get the stop here. That's really all there is to it.
Synergy to throw up the middle, complete to Prococo. She'll go down to the 48. Another timeout taken from Charleston, another 17-yarder for Prococo.
And if you're Charleston, you really want to use this last timeout to stop the clock with after the stop. And so, man, this really feels like it's coming up on one of potentially the last truly competitive plays of the season for Charleston. Little by little.
They absolutely need the stop here. Handoff for Stellar. Will go back to the line of scrimmage, going nowhere. And that'll be the final timeout taken by Charleston.
So DC not quite bad at doing math on the fly. Not quite there in terms of time, but they would be very close. Charleston would be left with less than a minute. I mean, they would be left with very little time. So again, all the more important to get the stop.
With about 1:40 to go, they would probably get the ball back with about maybe 30, 25 seconds left. Synergy to Stellar up the middle. We'll get a couple of yards, and that'll bring it to 3rd and 7. So now you see the game clock and the play clock. So they'll snap the ball with about 1:02 to go. 3rd and 7. If they convert it, it's going to be game over. So this is the most important stop for the Charleston defense this season.
Yeah, it's your season on the line. I mean, it does not get bigger than that.
Say going in motion to the left side. We'll see how long DC will milk this play clock. Now under 10 to go. They'll snap it. Synergy throwing up the middle. Percoco with another one-handed grab. And that is your Retroid Nice Hands catch of the game. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K 23. Percoco now 147 yards through the air. DC will now go into victory formation and effectively punch their ticket into the playoffs. They'll take one knee here, and that's pretty much all they will need. With the win, DC will go finish the season 7-5. They will take the number 8 spot for the time being. A win from Vegas would put DC at number 9. And then we'd have to see about tiebreakers with Vancouver, San Diego, and Louisiana. And that's what Charleston has to look out for. They will go to the 14 slot at 6-6. But with all the other games left to go, they need a couple teams to fall, and they will still be able to get into the playoffs. And they will have to be watching and praying. That is it for the regular season for DC and Charleston. A nail-biter here in South Carolina. But the Dragons come out on top 23-17. They will be more than likely getting themselves into the postseason. So we take a look at the quick breakdown here. Charleston made it close. They got 14 unanswered in the 4th quarter, but they just couldn't get that last bit.
Well, and a bit of a run back in a sense of their previous matchup this season, because week 1 of the season was Charleston at DC, and Charleston won by a single score. So a close one was always on the cards. I mean, Charleston really just were overwhelmed by Shabazz Synergy and this DC offense. I mean, they just pulled one out. Shabazz Synergy almost 300 yards of passing. Lauren Percoco almost 150 yards receiving. I mean, just that fantastic catch at the end. There were a lot of really athletic plays that you could have given the SFL nice hands catch of the game to, but really, that was the one. And what we saw from DC is something that if they can make it work in the playoffs, I think, you can't count them out, because again, just running these routes towards the middle of the field, they were just able to carve up the secondary of Charleston this game.
Absolutely. Lauren Percoco is, as far as I'm concerned, player of the game. 147 yards on 11 catches. She's just a few yards shy of 1,100 for the season, but a fantastic finish for her. She's definitely going to get an all-star vote for sure. That's going to do it for us here in Charleston. Once again, DC coming out with the win, 23-17. For our statisticians, DJ Woods, Jacob Clear, from my partner Alden Bleeker, Commissioner Cameron Irvine, I'm Ethan Muslin, and this has been a great start to Week 14. It's going to continue on all the weekend. You don't want to miss it.